I'm the Librarian, and I've just finished reading Richard Littler's Discovering Scarfolk, a book for tourists and other trespassers. This book is presented to us by Dr. Ben Mott, who takes us through an archive of absurd and strange propaganda concerning the little-known town of Scarfolk. The archive itself was sent to Dr. Mott by a man called Daniel Bush, who found himself held prisoner within Scarfolk itself. Now, as the Doctor guides us through the archive, which contains some of Daniel's ramblings and strange stories of what happened when he was held prisoner there, you'll also find leaflets published by the Scarfolk Tourist Board welcoming unwelcome visitors to visit the Outsiders Zoo and the Slaughter Gardens. Scarfolk Council posters warning adults of the dangers posed by wandering off with strange children. Extracts from medical journals such as Pagan Pediatrics and Postnatal Possession and How to Wash a Child's Brain. And public information posters informing the locals to close their eyes when they're not looking at things because light is expensive. Now, after hearing all of that, you're probably asking yourself, who the hell would want to visit Scarfolk? I mean, it sounds insane, it sounds ludicrous, and dare I say it, it sounds fictional. But then, when you think about it, can't the same be said of every town? Well, maybe not the fictional bit, unless you've got so many imaginary friends that you've had to imagine up an imaginary town for them all to live in which case, I doff my hat to... Oh, I don't have a hat. I doff my hat to, O ruler of Mediupia, or wherever you call your fictitious kingdom. But if you get rid of the fictitious part, pretty much every town can be described as being ludicrous or insane in some way. Now, if you find yourself watching this video and you're telling yourself that your town is dull and dreary and has absolutely no claim to absurdity whatsoever, well then I tell you not to fret your little head any longer, because there is an easy solution. It is an Anglo-Librarian fact that a town's reading on the freakiness scale can easily be increased by importing a handful of eccentrics. For example, I used to live in the town where these oddballs thrived. The place was overflowing with the loony talents of people such as Owlman. This was an elderly man who would drive round the centre of town in his little granny-mobile with 2 or 3 fully grown owls permanently attached to his handlebars. And there you have it. If you're sick of your town stagnating in tediousness, get yourself down to your local owl sanctuary, knock your grandma off her scooter and head on into town. It really is that simple to make your town weird. I mean, it's not something you see every day. And if you do something like that, people are going to want to talk about you. They're going to call you the crazy kook in town. But as we live in politically correct times, they'll refer to you as the eccentric, and you become some sort of legend and fable in their eyes. Thanks to you, your town now has a character, someone people can talk to their friends about, who won't really believe them straight away until they come into the town, boosting the town's tourist economy, and then they'll see you, right there, taking your owls for a walk in the middle of town, their leashes attached to your handlebars, big smile on your face, happy as Larry, as if it's the most natural thing in the world. And before you know it, people are going to start talking about you all over social media. It's going to spread like wildfire. And assuming that your town isn't a fictitious one, it's going to be put on the map. Actually, your town will already be on the map, so maybe they'll have to change the colour of the font to match with a weirdness scale. What's that? Owls aren't your thing? Maybe you're scared of them? Maybe you don't want to break Granny's hip pushing her out of a scooter? Well, don't worry, there are plenty of other options. Another escapee from my old town's local nut farm used to keep it really simple. Every day, he'd walk into town, he'd go to the exact same spot, and then he'd stand there, looking off into the distance. He didn't do it whimsically, nor did he do it forlornly. He just looked. He'd just stand there all day, not drinking, not smoking, not talking, not eating, hardly moving a muscle, all day from dawn till dusk. And why did he do this? Fuck knows, but everyone came to know him, everyone talked about him, helping his legends of oddity to expand and spread out. He pretty much became part of the town's scenery, and people would use him as a point of reference when giving directions. Excuse me mate, do you know where the nearest cash machine is? Sure, if you just go down there, take a right after game, and then it's on the left as you pass the staring weirdo. The staring weirdo? You'll see. Can I just add that the whole giving directions thing is not exaggerated? I did actually use him as a point of reference once when guiding someone to a cash machine. And what's best about this guy's approach is that if one day you ever got sick of turning up and you just didn't feel like standing around, just don't turn up, and that'll really get the locals talking. Where's the freak gone? Why isn't he in his usual place? Has anyone seen the starer? People will make shit up. They won't be able to help themselves. They'll keep talking and talking. They'll make it more and more weird, thus cementing your legend and making you synonymous with the town's name. Voila! Weird town. It's as easy as that. You too can inject some absurdity into your local town. And at its cheapest, all it's going to cost you is an abundance of patience and a nice comfortable pair of shoes. That's all there is to it. Find a quirk, stick with it long enough, and soon enough you too found that you were living in a ludicrously insane town.